Located just 26 miles outside of Dublin, Ireland, is one of the greatest wonders of the prehistoric world, Newgrange. Built 6 centuries before the oldest pyramids in Egypt and 1000 years older than Stonehenge, the massive Neolithic passage tomb is at least 5000 years old. The monument is also known as the world's oldest solar observatory because on the winter solstice, sun rays pour into the tomb and light up the ancient burial chamber for just 17 mystical minutes. Although it was seemingly constructed to mark the winter solstice, many mysteries still surround the monument. For example, experts remain uncertain about how the heavy stones were brought to the site. Newgrange is built with 200,000 tons of material, and it has been estimated that its construction would have taken 30 years using a workforce of approximately 300 people. Many of the 550 large stones were collected from the ground they had been lying on above the hills of Newgrange. Because many of the stones were weathered, it is believed they weren't quarried. That left those ancient people with the huge task of finding the stones that could best be moved and to invent the means of moving them. Other mysteries include who built the monument, how long did its construction take, and how many people were involved. Some theories surrounding this ingenious construction are that the builders were sun worshippers and that the sunlight was supposed to awake the dead and refresh their spirits, or that it was just a sign to see the old year and herald in the new. Excavations at the site have also shown that a different culture occupied the site around 2000 BC, which could mean that the people went into cultural decline because of the massive economic and labor input into the tombs. They left few clues for the archaeologists, who are still baffled by the meaning of the beautiful symbols inscribed on the stones inside and outside the tomb. Whatever the explanation, there is no doubt that Newgrange is a remarkable testament to the scientific capabilities of primitive people and provides a visually spectacular event that no other archaeological site in the world can equal. The Khmer Empire was a Hindu-Buddhist empire in Southeast Asia that ruled over Cambodia for 629 years. At its peak, the mighty empire ruled over much of Cambodia, parts of Vietnam, Laos, and Thailand, and was larger than the Byzantine Empire, which existed around the same time. The empire's capital city of Angkor was one of the civilization's largest cities, with an extensive system of roads and canals and an estimated population of as many as 1 million people. The kings of Angkor sustained the empire with enormous man-made lakes and canals, built statues of deities with gold and precious jewels, and built many monuments celebrating their ancestors and kin. It has been calculated that altogether the construction of the monuments and buildings of Angkor used more stones than all the pyramids of Egypt. However, like many other great empires in history, the empire too began to decline over time and completely collapsed by 1431. There have been many theories about the decline and eventual collapse of the empire, such as war and religious pressures to environmental disasters, but experts are unsure what caused the civilization to disappear, leaving its cities and states at the mercy of the relentless jungle. It is very likely that a combination of all the theories, not one single event however, contributed to the demise of the once mighty Khmer Empire. A 10,000-year-old Stonehenge-like structure was discovered by a team of underwater archaeologists in Lake Michigan in 2007. The discovery took them completely by surprise, and they were initially unsure of what they had found. Resting at the bottom of the lake are what appears to be intentionally placed structure with stones equally spaced from each other. Arranged in a circular pattern, some of the stones weigh as much as 3,000 pounds, and the circular pattern formed by the stones is about 40 feet in diameter, with an inner circle that is about 20 feet in diameter. The stones are all made of granite, which is found in the local area and are some of the oldest structure ever discovered in America. Carvings and engravings have been found on some of the stones that include images of mastodons, which became extinct 11,000 years ago. The carvings suggest that the ancient people who built the site had some knowledge of these animals and possibly even hunted them. Older than Stonehenge by 5,000 years, the identity of the builders and the purpose of the structure remain a mystery. However, some experts speculate that it could have been a ceremonial site used by early hunter-gatherer societies, or it was built to keep away other animals from reaching their side. Much is still unknown of the origin and the age of the structure though. In 12th century England, during the reign of King Stephen, a very curious incident occurred which is only believable because of the many credible witnesses. The chronicle states that during one summer day, two children, a boy and a girl, emerged from a wolf pit in the ground just outside the village of Woolpit in Suffolk. Disheveled and confused, they were found by some harvesters who took the children to the village. They spoke in a language unknown to the villagers, wore clothes of a strange hue and texture, ate only raw green beans, and their skin was completely green. The children gradually adapted to normal food over time and lost their green color, but the boy, who appeared to be the younger of the two, was sickly and later died. The surviving girl learned to speak English and claimed that she and her brother had come from a land where the sun never shone, everyone's skin was green, and the light was like twilight. One day, while herding her father's cattle, they heard sounds which to them sounded like the bells chiming, and while following the sounds, they got lost. Sometime later, they stumbled upon a cave and then suddenly emerged into our world, dazzled by the bright sun. The girl, later known as Agnes, was employed for many years by a local lord and eventually married a man from a nearby town. So who were these mysterious children? Were they lost orphans with a skin condition? Or perhaps they had found their way out of a secret underground world? Nobody knows.